It's a case that grabbed headlines around the nation. A younger woman attacked by her then boyfriend and former Seahawks player Chad Wheeler. Wheeler was let go from the Seahawks after his arrest last month and blamed the attack on a manic episode brought on by bipolar disorder. He and his legal team will be fighting his domestic violence charges at his trial scheduled for later this year.
The survivor in this case, Alleah Taylor, says being in the public eye through all of this has not been easy, but she says she feels lucky to have gotten out alive. And now she wants to share her story with the 1 in 8 Washington adults who have also faced a similar situation. I want to warn you tonight, the story you're about to see is disturbing. It may be triggering to some. Q13's Olivia LaVoice talked with Alleah.
Hearing myself say I'm going to die, I believed it.
It's been exactly 1 month since Alleah Taylor survived a vicious attack, allegedly at the hands of her then boyfriend, Chad Wheeler. Today, Taylor is still healing from her injuries, including a scar on her neck.
At first, I was very, very sad seeing it, but now I just see it as something I survived.
Taylor and Wheeler were together for 6 months, and things had been going well.
I often think back, like, what could have been done differently, but it was just so sudden.
According to police reports, on January 22nd, Wheeler cut off his long hair, which seems strange to Taylor, who says Wheeler loved his hair. Later that night, he came to her Kent apartment, where things took a turn fast.
He asked me to bow down, and I asked him why, and I was backing up, and he was getting closer and told me to bow down again. And I started crying because I realized he was serious, and it scared me a lot.
Without any provocation, she says Wheeler began attacking her.
He sat on top of me and was strangling me with both hands, and then he put his hand around over my mouth and to try to cover my nose and my mouth, and he stuffed his fingers down my throat.
Taylor blacked out. When she came to, she says Wheeler began strangling her again until she lost consciousness a second time.
Looking up at him and seeing his face, and he looked so determined, and it was terrifying. I'm very strong, and I've never felt helpless before, but in that moment, I just felt like this is it.
When she came to a second time, she says Wheeler was finally off of her.
He was standing by the bed, by the door, and it's so chilling. He was like, wow, you're still alive.
She was able to run and lock herself in the bathroom and quietly call 911. At this point, she could hear on the other side of the door, Wheeler had begun eating the dinner that Taylor had ordered them before the attack.
But he was very calm, and I can hear his fork scraping, so I can tell he was still eating. Which terrified me, so I didn't think I had much time.
Reports show when police arrived to the scene, they could hear Taylor screaming for help. Her injuries were severe. She'd swallowed large amounts of blood, dislocated her elbow, broken her humerus bone, and suffered a concussion. But with Wheeler standing at 6'7" and 315 pounds, she feels incredibly lucky to be alive. After his arrest, Wheeler issued a public apology, stating the events transpired from a manic episode. The following week, Taylor gathered the courage to face him in court. She was stunned when he asked the judge for permission to still go to Hawaii, a trip the pair were meant to go on together the day after the attack.
I had to contemplate that and come to terms that that's may not be real love.
Now Taylor is speaking out because she wants to help other victims and try to ensure Wheeler doesn't get off with just a slap on the wrist.
Looking at him in jail, he looked so calm, and I just thought, no, he's too confident that he's not going to have to face consequences.
As the legal process is still in its early stages, Taylor says she feels lucky she was able to make a clean break from the relationship, something she says she knows can be very difficult for survivors in some situations. But she says she still copes with the pain of being so hurt by someone you love.
It is very confusing, especially we haven't had dialogue, we haven't talked, and it was so sudden. It just leaves you with the question, why? Why did this happen, and why did you do this to me?
She knows she has a long journey of healing ahead of her, but she's determined to come out of this a stronger person.
And I have a niece that, God forbid, I hope she never goes through anything like this, but so I get a little emotional, but I want her to see the strength, and I want her to emulate it, and I want other people to emulate it.
Olivia LaVoice, Q13 News.
And Alleah is incredibly strong and brave for speaking about this trauma so publicly. We can't say this enough. If you or someone you love is experiencing domestic violence, you are not alone. You can call or text the domestic violence hotline 24 hours a day. Someone will always be on the other end, ready to listen and help. You can also find local resources on our website, q13fox.com, under links that you saw on TV. And remember, help is out there. These cases have been steadily rising, David. We've been talking about this for months now during the pandemic, where more domestic violence cases are happening. So it's so important for family and friends to just look for those little indicators, if there are any, and report it.
Yeah, and the extra stressors right now certainly don't help. So please reach out and get help if at all possible.